Hey everyone, I wanted to go over the new and exciting news that we got for Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak, which is set to release on both the Nintendo Switch and on PC on June 30th. And in this video, I want to treat it as a little bit of a tutorial slash guide slash full explanation as to how switch skills and switch skill swaps and switch skill evades will actually work in Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak. Because I think ultimately, and this is something that I touched upon in my reactions video, that I don't necessarily think the presentation did a very good job explaining how integral and how important switch skills will ultimately be to every gameplay moment that you're actually playing the game out in Hunt. Yes, it's cool to have Ceragios back, it's cool to have subspecies. It sucks that we're not getting another new map, and it's kind of cool that we're getting like partner event quests and all that kind of stuff. That's all well and good. But nothing is really going to change the way you're actually playing the game more than switch skills, and in this video I want to try to tackle that as best as possible. So the first thing that you need to know is that now you're going to have way more options than ever before when it comes to silkbind attacks and skills options. So right now in Monster Hunter Rise you have 3 skills options, and within those you have 2 options from skill 1, 2, and 3 that you can toggle on and off on, presumably giving you 6 different skills slash silkbind attacks to choose from to tailor the gameplay however it is that you want. Some are more defensive, some are more offensive, some of them are situational, all those kind of things. What they're doing with Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak is that they're introducing 2 more tiers, a 4th and 5th options when it comes to skill attacks, and each one of those is going to have 2 extra silkbind attacks attached to them. So you're going to have the option to now have a total of 10 presumable skill slash silkbind attacks available to you at any one time. And the way they're actually going to do that, because you could only have 5 of them active at any given time, is that they're going to introduce this switch skill swap option. So the way they're presenting it is that you're going to have in the menu in the game, you're going to have a red swap scroll available to you. And here, this is pretty much your normal version of you're going to be able to choose your 5 skills, your 5 silkbind attacks that you like for whatever weapon that you're using, and those are going to be your integral main set of skills. But then you're also going to have this blue swap scroll option. And the blue one is pretty much an alternate version of your 5 already pre-existing kind of preset loadout. So you're going to be able to choose either a different one from the 2 toggleable ones that you can choose from, or choose a completely different set. So what you can actually choose to do is use the same silkbind skill attacks that you already have available to you, but only one of them is going to be different. Or you can choose to change all 5 of them altogether, giving you the access to pretty much every single silkbind slash skill attack for each one of the weapons. Now, of course, this is going to be really important based on the weapon that you're using and how important those weapons and how silkbind dependent those weapons are at the end of the day. Now, remember, each silkbind attack is still tied and locked to how many wire bucks you have available to you. So you're still only going to have 2 normal wire bucks available to you in the beginning. If you pick up a 3rd, or you pick up one of the morphed wire bucks, you're going to have an extra one as well. None of that is actually changing. Some of those skills are still going to be able to take 2 wire bucks. Some of them are going to take 1. We don't necessarily know if one of these attacks yet is going to take 3. That could be a possibility, but they haven't presented that as of yet. You also still have your wire bug evade and your wire bug recover. So that's still always going to be there no matter what. One of the things that they are also introducing when it comes to the switch skill swap option is something called switch skill evade. And what all this does is not an extra evade or an extra maneuver or anything along those lines in the way that they kind of presented it in the presentation. All this actually means is that whenever you're using the switch skill swap options, so you're pretty much going to press X and A on the switch, and you're pretty much going to be able to like swap skill swaps, like pretty much go from your toggle 1 setup to your toggle 2 setup. Whenever you do that, if a monster is going to attack you, you can presumably press B, and instead of wasting a wire bug to wire bug evade or anything like that, you're just going to use the switch skill swap evade. And that's all it's going to be. It's just going to be moving you in any direction you choose. It's kind of like omnidirectional, so you can go left, right, up, down, that kind of a thing. And you can just pretty much choose to move any which way you want. So that is what they're actually talking about when they're referencing the switch skill swap evade. That's all that is. You're going to have the option to kind of like move out of the way, and then you can, chain that up with your silk bind attack, your wire bug attack, that kind of a thing. So it's not this big weird thing that you almost kind of want to use that as an escape. No, the evade, the silk bind evade is probably going to be way more powerful and way more quick. But if you're still using that like swap option, I think it's going to be pretty beneficial to have a quick evade option, because your character will be standing still. You will be doing this like kind of like, I don't want to compare it to like the old version of like drinking a potion and the Superman pose kind of a thing. It's not like that, but it seems to be kind of like reminiscent of that. Your character stands still, they kind of do a little pose, and then you're like glowing, and then you can evade. So you will have an option to kind of like quickly get out of a bad situation if a monster decides to attack you as you're switching skills. Now, ultimately, what this does mean is that some of those weapons, like the hammer, for example, which they showcase in one of their little clips right there, you should be seeing that looping in the background, is that basically weapons that are depending on silk bind attacks and wire bug attacks, they're pretty much going to have the option to, like, depending on how good you are and how situational some of those new silk bind attacks are going to be and how better they're going to be for the weapon that you're using, ultimately it means that you're going to have like a whole host of wide variety of situations that you can make the best use out of those silk bind attacks. Now, for example, for me, for light bow gunners, for example, you're never really going to be using the vault one. It's not really all that hopeful. I think the sliding one to the side, I forget the name of it, like that one is way better because you get boosted damage and stuff like that. So the vaulting one is never really going to be optional. So even if they do give me the option to use it in the middle of a hunt, I don't think I ever will, because unless they actually give you boosted damage or like different type of shop bonuses, there's really no benefit. And that's kind of like the entire point of this. The weapons that are already silk bind attack dependent are going to see a huge boost of this. Weapons that are not silk bind attack dependents really aren't going to be all that benefited by switch skill swaps or anything along those lines. It will be good if the new silk bind attacks that they add and the new silk bind skills that they add are situational, so they are beneficial to a specific scenario, if you will, so you can have that loadout set up for a specific hunt in that kind of a situation. But at the end of the day, I don't necessarily know how beneficial they are going to be for every single one of the weapons. So now that you have a better understanding of, yes, they're going to introduce essentially 4 brand new silk bind attacks for each one of the weapons, a 4th and a 5th tier to the 3 that are already existing in the game, and each one of those is going to have a toggleable, A option, a B option, and then amongst that, you are going to have the option to have 2 separate scrolls. You can choose to have each one of them active at any given time. You can swap into any one of them at any given time when you're out on the field. It doesn't cost you a wire bug, and then you can still get a free extra evade if a monster is going to attack you at the same time you're using the switch skill swap, which is beneficial, but again, situational at any given moment. Hopefully I've been able to explain this stuff to you guys a little bit better than the presentation did. I wanted to take a time and go over all the details because I don't think the presentation did a very good job showcasing this. They kind of glossed it over, and at the end of the day, this is going to be one of those things that is going to be way more important than like new monsters or armor and stuff like that, because this is the way you're actually playing the game. This is stuff that like matters in a moment-to-moment basis as you're experiencing, the game and your weapon for however it is that you want to play. And it's going to be way more important than just an armor set or a specific weapon that you can end up picking up. If you are brand new to my channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Hit the bell to receive notifications when the videos go up. And as always, thank you so much for watching. See ya.